Channel. We're going to be going over the February 2022 update for Back 4 Blood. This is Camping Scout. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. We're going to go over the developer notes and pretty much everything. I'm going to be standing in front of the Intel part so that we can go over and show the differences in the cards between the last time.
I heard they might be affecting the
on their developer note, they're saying that they're trying to make the cards more viable for different strategies and also removing trade-offs, which I love that idea. That's an awesome addition. I did like some of the changes they did before. There's one keynote here that they have, which is most notably the ability to stay together at the end of a match. If you enjoyed that, that's pretty cool for if you're playing with a bunch of randoms and you found somebody that you clicked with. So that'll be a nice quality of life improvement. Now, with all of this, I do hope they eventually start bringing new cleaners and stuff like that. There is no mention of anything that I've seen, so... Alright, some of the new features they've got is streamer mode. They'll have access to disable copyrighted stuff in the game. That's actually really nice. That means for any video making, you can activate that, and then you don't have to worry about demonetization for any of the bigger people out there. As to what they mentioned in the notes, stay together. Ungrouped players can vote to stay together at the end of a run. That's pretty cool. The fact that it's a vote as well means that you're not just going to get strong-armed into it. Walker has had a rework. So let's just go take a look at Walker. Let's see what's going on. Alright, so mutations that Walker pings are highlighted and deal 10% less damage. Okay, that's much better than the precision kill for accuracy, in my opinion. So that's pretty cool. Alright, next up they've got increased the limit of decks allowed in the deck manager to 16 for each mode. It was previously only 8. Okay, so you can have more builds. Players now earn supply points after failing a mission. That is new, and that's a nice quality of life for any of us who just constantly run through. Next, we've got 2 new tutorial tips in the card draw overlay. Okay, that'll be good for new players. Oh no, this is two new tutorial tips in the card draw overlay explaining catch-up draws. Okay, no, that'll just explain. Let's see if we can find that. That's in training. No. Okay, no, not training. No, that's something I'll look into and then see if I can explain later. Okay, yeah, that's going to be in card draw specifically where I'll be able to find it. Alright, some bug fixes. There was an issue that caused weapon fire to not always be accurate. I'd ran into that a few times, so that's awesome to see. They fixed the campaign objective items being dropped on use. That was so annoying to have. You're trying to fix a window and you just drop the plank. That was the biggest issue I had on that, as well as some of the other key moments you're trying to do something and then you just drop it and you're like, well, there goes half my use bar. Fixed an issue where muted players were not being unmuted if the player toggled unmute all before loading into the game. Okay, I typically play more with just myself or a friend, so I didn't run into that issue, but I am glad that they're fixing stuff for that. Now, campaign updates. Players can now interrupt firing by reloading. That'll be awesome. The T5 grenades on that rather hectic mission is now all open. You don't have to open the containers. Shotgun ammo pickups from crates increased to 60 from 25. That's a huge increase. Additionally, rifle goes from 120 from 100. So that's awesome. Shotgun and rifle ammo increase. Players are now able to hit the breaker's weak spots with melee weapons. I always just kind of wailed at it, never really noticed. But that'll be great. That means you can get some massive damage with some of the melee builds on the breaker specifically.
Let's see.
Thank you for that comment there, people in the camp. Global difficulty damage increases no longer affect friendly fire damage. Alright, that'll be nice. Especially like for those of us who play solo with the AI that just walks in front of your bullets. And quick play no longer queues players into finale maps. That is nice because you try to get into a run and then you're just thrown in at the very end. It's like, well, I just got the 5-minute map and now I have to start a new run all over. Alright, general card updates. Alright, the developers were saying this makes slow and steady combat more viable. So let's go to actual cards here. Now let's see. Evasive action refactored to defensive maneuvers. Attacks over 15 damage apply 25% damage resist for 3 seconds. Holy crap. That is a huge damage resist buff. Alright, that was True Grit over there. Evasive action was blue, I think. But now with it being changed, defensive maneuver. Let's see if we can... Don't ask why I'm... Alright, let's see where defensive maneuver is. Defensive maneuver. So here we are, yeah, when you take a hit for 15 or more damage, you gain 25% damage resist for 3 seconds. That is a huge buff to damage resist compared to everything else previously. On your mark, instantly gives 15% of max ammo and 10% of move speed while firing. Okay, so... Oh, there's more than just that. Plus 25% reload and 25% weapon swap for 30 seconds on Horde trigger. No longer gives team speed 15% for 30 seconds. Okay, so let's go to that. I'll just do on you. That should be able to pull it up. On your mark. When a horde is triggered, your team restores 15% ammo and gains 10% move speed while firing, 25% reload speed, and 25% swap speed for 30 seconds. Okay, that's pretty neat. Alright, next we have Amped Up changing. It no longer gives you temporary health when leaving the safe room. I'm happy with that. It now gives the team 25 temporary health anytime a horde is triggered. That will be great for some of my trigger happy friends that hit the birds. That will be phenomenal. Let's go to the card and actually take a look at it.
That makes sense.
Amped Up. When a horde is triggered, your team gains 25 temporary health. Okay, I do like these changes to the cards making it horde triggered. That's really nice. Shooting gloves have been changed. It still has 25% swap speed, but it has added as well 15% recoil control and 15% accuracy. So that's nice and early here. So right here, shooting gloves. Nice. So that's a multi-tool. Front sight focus has been changed, which keeps the 20% accuracy. It added 10% weak spot damage and 15% aim speed. So front sight. Let's just pull it up on here. Front sights was red. 20% accuracy, 10% weak spot, and 15% aim. I am really liking these changes so far. Mom's ability had a change, so let's see if it says it in the cleaner profile. Mom can instantly revive a teammate to full health once per level. That's the changes. Her revive is no longer just a normal revive. It's a full health revive. That will be nice for those emergency situations. Hoffman also has a change to his ability. Hoffman has a chance to find ammo or an offensive accessory whenever he kills a ridden, which is that is, holy crap. So the percent chances of that are listed here. It's a 1% chance to find an offensive item, and team ammo is increased to 15%. That is insane. So Hoffman's going to be very viable just at the fact you can get those offensive accessories to drop like crazy. It might be good for whoever plays Hoffman to be running the more offensive accessories card. Alright, so let's go back to here, because more card information. We've got admin reload no longer has a trade-off. So I know some people who will be happy about that. It's just, boom, whenever you stow it, it reloads. Alright, ammo for all adds 1% team damage as well. Now, ammo for all... Don't ask why I'm looking for it this way, when I can just type it in. So I'm just going to type that in. Ammo for all. Also gives 1% team damage. Okay, that's kind of funny, because the other part hasn't changed, so it's just like here's a bonus 1% damage. I'll take it. It's nice to always have those little changes. Anytime a card does more than one thing, it's nice. Ammo pouch had some added. It added 2.5% bullet damage and 25% ammo capacity. So let's see, ammo pouch. Right here. Okay, so it just added 2.5% bullet damage, and the capacity, that's the same. Ammo belt additionally changed. It has 15% reload speed on top of the ammo capacity, and it no longer has a negative. So that's nice. Now here's some fun ones. Go ahead and pop this out. Go to the end of the list here. Next up, we've got my doorbell going off. Sorry for that interruption. So we've got, first off, grenade pouch. Grenade pouch got a 25% swap speed addition to it, so that'll be nice. The double grenade pouch, it no longer reduces damage by 10%, but it slows you by 5%, so move speed goes down. So that should be a nice change. The flat health reduction was kind of off-putting to me, so I would never take it. With it being a move speed, I might actually throw it on more. Alright. Next up is belt clip. I'm just going in order of the news. This is all the first time I'm seeing any of it as well. +1 quick slot inventory and plus 10% use speed. Okay. So that's giving you a 10% use speed on top of that. That will be nice. The utility belt upgrade, it's just like the other one. It takes away the reduced damage and adds slow. Alright, and we've got shoulder. Shoulder bag is the same thing. Let me just delete this and go to it. To scroll all the way back. So here we are, shoulder bag. Support inventory, they took away the damage and put on negative move speed. Fanny Pack is not in the list yet. Let's go ahead and go over that. Fanny Pack now has the added trauma resistance. That will be rather viable on the nightmare runs. Very happy with that. Mandatory PT. Alright, that has an added effect. Let's go to it. I well passed it. And again, I'm trying to search whenever I can just do this. There, mandatory PT. It gives 10% team stamina and team stamina regen now. That is down. Let's see. That is down from 15%. So that was nerfed overall, but given a buff and another stat. So that's a very good change. Hellfire was decreased in the movement speed from 5 to 3%. So let's see. Hellfire, here we are. Okay, so yeah, that was 45% move speed while firing and 3% while not firing. So overall, a very minute change. I don't foresee that being that big of a difference. It'll make a slight difference, but you're not gonna look like a crackhead running across the maps with all the move cards. Next, we have stamina. Now gives a flat stamina instead of 10%. That is the stamina card. I don't have access to that on here. That would be on the draw menu. Compounding interest. Hold up. Let's go all the way to there. Updated to affect the whole team, but it was reduced to 5% from 10%. Okay. Alright, so this does affect the copper yields. Compound interest used to have a super great way with a 4-man team, but now it's a team effect. That's just 5% for everybody. I don't like that change, personally. I'm all for grouping together and having to have coordination to do stuff. I would prefer everyone has to drop their copper to get 10% than everybody just gets 5. So not a fan of that change, but all the rest so far have been great. Oh, this will be a good one. Battle Lust. Battle Lust now benefits from healing efficiency, meaning you can get your melee kills to give you a lot more health. Granted, I mean, you'd have to stack that efficiency, but it's still, that's a nice change. Face Your Fears now has a range of 2.5 meters. So 2.5 meters or 9 feet. Still probably not viable for guns that often, but overall it's still nice to have a slight buff to that range. Alright, Utility Scavenger. Let's go ahead and go to that. Alright, that looks like that was right. I was right by it. So it was. It looks like that was more of a bug fix, which is Utility Scavenger. Barbed Wire now properly gets highlighted with this card instead of Offensive Scavenger. So that was more of a quality life fix than a card fix, or a card change rather. Alright, Stimulants. Duration increased from 60 seconds to 30. So let's go to that card so we can actually see it. Alright, stimulants. Alright, so yeah, it's got all the same effects it did before, but now it's for 60 seconds instead of 30, so that'll be a nice change. Just a little bit bonus on those if you're ever going for a pharmacist build. Optics Enthusiast no longer reduces stamina efficiency. Alright, let's go to that. Optics Enthusiast is just a flat 30% accuracy. Not bad. Reducing the negatives is nice. Sometimes those big stamina efficiency hits were rather nasty. Trigger control added accuracy on precision kill. So let's go to that and see how the card looks with that. Trigger control, alright. Precision kills grant 20% accuracy for 5 seconds. Alright, I mean, I'm probably not going to use it, but that's still a pretty cool change. Wooden armor. Alright. Let's go to the armors then. So here we have wooden armor went down from 40% to 30% for trauma resist. Honestly, that's fine. Your trauma resistance got capped anyways. This means you can actually add more stuff and potentially not hit that cap. But it also no longer increases acid damage. That is a heck of a buff to the card. That minus 10% trauma resist and not taking double damage to one of the things that you encounter most of the time. Like the fire zombies, those are easily countered. The wretches, on the other hand, can easily puke on you. So that is a huge change. I like that a lot. Body armor, it goes from 25 to 20, but now it no longer has the ammo drop. So that's really nice. Overwatch. So let's go to Overwatch now. That card has had a change. There we are. Kills from distance increased to 15 from 10. Alright, so that was kind of a nerf there to the card. The range was increased on it. Not a card I typically use, because I'm typically bunched up with the team focus firing. But still, I mean, that'll work for anybody who tries to be a sniper. Like, if you have a melee build up front, you can have your sniper with this as long as they stick farther back now. They can't be as close. Still usable. Now, healing cards have been updated. So let's go over Anti-Antibiotic Ointment. So here, let's see this. This has the healing efficiency increased to 25 from 20. And now it gives an additional 10 temporary health when you heal them with a medical accessory. That's pretty good. Now, the update says anytime you heal with an item or ability. I don't know if I haven't tested it with Doc. I'll test that stuff with Doc again at a later date to see if her heal ability will actually trigger this stuff. If it does, that'll be a huge boon for her. Be great for her. Emt Bag had a change. It increased its healing efficiency from 50% from 40, and it no longer reduces stamina. So let's take a look at that. That's a quick find. That's here on page 7. So yeah, it's just a flat 50% healing efficiency. And Field Surgeon also. When you use a medical accessory, it also restores 3 trauma to the target. So this is instead of the 60%, which I am perfectly fine with this. This actually seems like a nice change to these 3. I almost never ran them because the negatives. That 3 trauma, oh goodness, that will be a game changer. Alright, next up we have Medical Expert. Alright, let's get to that. Okay, let me just type it in. Alright, Medical Expert. Team effects, 15% healing efficiency. That is nice. Everybody gets a little bit more. But the 50% revive speed... Okay, so that was changed. Like, this card used to be rather weird, a little bit... It used to be different. I do like these changes, though. So you get the 50% revive speed. I believe it used to be more. Let's see. No, that was just added. I'm thinking of a different card then. Alright, so yeah, this is a nice change for it then. So it has 50% revive speed. Whenever you use a medical accessory, it also restores 1 trauma. So if you use that stacked with the other one, you can be healing for 4 points of trauma. Especially with that boosted healing efficiency. Yeah, that means even like random pain meds you find, you pop those, that's healing trauma. That's going to be game changing. I love it. Alright, now we got Fanny Pack. We already went over Fanny Pack earlier. That was the support item. I don't know why they had that so far out. Fresh Bandage. Fresh Bandage was changed. At the start of each level, heal 15 trauma damage, then restore any missing health. Whoo! Whoo, that is a big change. Instead of just 15 health, the fact you just go to full health. That was a nice buff. I like that. I like that a lot. Because it's after a bad end on a mission, I'd still have to pay to get my health back. So that'll be nice. That'll save a little bit of copper on runs whenever things go bad. I like it. Corruption card updates. Okay, I can't show these. That'd be cool if they had a corruption card tab to show you different ones so you could look through it, but Toxic Spill, the temporary health per kill got reduced from 5 to 3. Honestly, I think that's fine. I don't like seeing the card because I don't like the constant health tick, but the temp health gain more than counters it. 5 to 3 isn't going to make it that much harder. Now we're on to balance updates. So let's see. Let's sit at the fireplace while we go over this. Alright. So weapon damage scaling per quality decreased to 18.5 from 20%. So, for example, white-green used to be 20%, now it's 18.5 for every scale. The AA12 weapon damage scaling per quality increased by 11.5 from 10%. AK-47, the aim down sight spread increased to 0.7 from 2.9. The damage fall off rescaled to 2,000, 2,500, 2,750 from 1,750. It increased by 250 per section of fall off. And the weapon damage scaling per quality decreased to 18.5 from 20 as well. Barrett changes are the damage fall off has been rescaled to it's increased from 1,750 to 2,250. It's changed from the middle fall off of 2,500 to 2,750, and finally from 3,250 to 3,000. So they've kind of narrowed in the zone where the damage fall off is. Weapon damage scaling per quality is the same, decreased from 18.5 to 20. From 20, yeah. Belgian, the reload time decreased to 1.6 from 2, and the weapon scaling has decreased to 18.5 from 20. Desert Eagle weapon, the scaling has dropped from 18.5 from 20. The M4, the damage increased to 11 from 10. The damage fall-off rescale went from 15 to 1750, 1750 to 2250, and the 2500 is the same. The magazine size increased to 30 from 25. M16 changes are the damage fall-off went from 1500 to 1750, 1750 to 2250, and 2500 to 2500. They reduced the burst delay to 0.2 from 2.5, so a slight reduction there. Weapon damage scaling per quality increased to 11.5% from 10. The M1A changes. Recoil pitch reduced to 25 from 35, and the damage fall-off rescaled from 1500 to 2000, 2250 to 2500, and 3000 to 3000. M249 changes are the damage increased from 14 from 13, so that was a buff. The damage fall off went from 1500 to 1750, 2000 to 2250, and 2500 stayed the same. The M9 had its weapon scaling per quality increased to 11.5 from 10%. The M9 burst had its burst delay changed to 0.225 from 0.3. And weapon damage scaling per quality increased by 11.5 from the 10%. MP5 changes are the rate of fire increased to 0.07, and the weapon damage scaling per quality increased by 11.5% from the 10, so that's a general buff all around for that. Phoenix had the damage fall-off rescale from 1750 to 2250, the 2500 to 2750, and the 3250 to 3000. Weapon damage scaling per quality decreased to 18.5% from 20. So a little bit of a nerf on the Phoenix. Next up we've got the Ranch Rifle. The damage fall off for them has been 1250 to 1750. That's a massive increase of range. 2000 to 2250 and 2750 stayed the same. So that initial fall off is a much greater range on the Ranch Rifle. I think that's a nice change. Weapon damage scaling per quality also increased to 11.5% from the 10%. Next up we've got RPK. Its fall off has changed from the 1750 to 2000, 2250 to 2500, and 2750 is the end, same as it was before. That was the only change on the RPK. The next is the SCAR. It's got a few changes here. Aim down sight spread increased to 0.94 from the 0.29. Reload speed increased to 1.88 from 1.75. Damage fall off rescaled from 1750 to 2000, 2250 to 2500, and 2500 to 2750. Weapon scaling damage per quality decreased to 18.5 from the 20. So the SCAR in general, that looks like just a bunch of small nerfs to it. The Super 90, the weapon damage scaling increased 11.5 from 10. TAC 14, weapon damage scaling decreased to 18.5 from 20. Tech 9 had its reload speed increased to 2.47 from 2.25. The minimum hipfire spread increased to 5 from 4. Spread add increased to 4.2 from 3.9. Recoil, yaw, and pitch increased to 12 from 10. And weapon damage scaling per quality increased 11.5 from 10. Alright, so that's that's a change. That's a lot of changes for the Tech 9. Next, we have the Emt 45. Its weapon damage scaling decreased to 18.5 from the 20. And lastly, on the weapons, we have the Uzi weapon. Damage scaling per quality increased by 11.5 from 10. Now some spawning updates. Wandering Specials now have a 12 to 18 second exit cooldown. Alright. Bot updates. Bot positioning has been updated to prioritize player line of sight. Alright, that works. Ridden AI updates. Car alarms are no longer triggered by charred ridden. That was annoying. The fact that that's fixed is nice. Reeker melee damage reduced to 8 from 15.
Now I heard they might be affecting the water supply.
Alright, that works. I didn't mind the more damage. Truth be told, that also means it won't be triggering the cards. Remnants, the Road to Hell map. The Ogre can no longer spawn in this mission. Remnants, the Body Dump, T5 grenade cases now spawn in more locations. Okay. That's all of the campaign updates and cards. Next we have PvP Swarm updates. They added new visual effects to the Ridden. Some balance updates are cleaners begin each round with full ammo in Swarm mode. Reduce Tallboy's health to 600 from 625. Tallboy's overhead damage radius from 140 from 160. The stun resistance on the Tallboy is limited to 2.5, down from the 3. The ramp-up time for the Vomit ability to reach full velocity for Wretch players has been removed. And Hawker's projectile speed reduced to 2,000 from 2,500. Controller updates as players' strafe forward and backward movement speeds are now more consistent between keyboard and mouse and controller. So that'll be nice for any cross players, so that your movement is at least a bit more consistent between each other. Supply line updates. New sprays are now available in supply line. SWAT emblems is now available in roving merchant supply lines. Alright, so that's some new stuff to get. That'll be good for anybody who's grinded out stuff and is just stuck on burn cards. Accessibility updates. Text-to-speech is now implemented for tooltips. Alright, that'll be nice for some people. So we got some UI, UX updates. Added tooltips for most options to better explain a given option's functionality. Icons for buffs given by a card now display on the card as well as in the game HUD. Added a menu option called Cinematic Subtitles to disable subtitles during cutscenes. It's kind of cool. Card tooltips now appear during card selection. Alright, I like that. And more detailed messaging displays when a player gets kicked from the server. That's nice. I mean, more details is always nice to figure out what's going wrong, whether it was a drop or what. Now we got some bug fixes. Matchmaking fixed an issue that caused users to disconnect from the server right after joining a friend's game from another player's Fort Hope. Fort Hope in general, the Auto Glock 23 correctly reverts to the default skin. They also fixed an issue with glowing hair while using certain character skins. Campaign cards fixed an issue where some player cards were being applied twice on level transition. Fixed an issue where late joining players would retain combat knives and other character abilities after taking over a bot and switching to a new character. Doc's passive is now affected by group therapy's healing efficiency. All burn cards with trauma now display the trauma tooltip. Alright. Carly's ability no longer highlights police cars that already had their alarm triggered. Okay, that will be nice. I hated running through Chapter 2 on the police station and like somebody triggered half the alarms and they're still already can't figure out which ones.
Guy's appendix almost burst the other day.
Players with ammo buff cards active now start their first map with full ammo. Okay. Healing values on medical accessory tooltips reflect the correct increase when the Emt Bag card is active. That's cool. Fixed an issue where barn cards would persist after a team wipe. I never saw that, but kudos to them for fixing that. Fixed an issue where power swap activated when the conditions were not met. Alright, fixed an issue with Doc and Mom's abilities not working after a team wipe. Fixed an issue for players taking over a slot that had played a burn card potentially, being charged for that card. Fixed an issue that prevented glass cannon from applying to weak spots.
Let's see one now.
Okay, that'll be good, getting the bonus damage in there. Some general. Some accomplishments now unlock immediately after completing an axe finale. Upgrades purchased in the vendor now persist after level transitions when a player who joined via quick play leaves the game. Vendors no longer display duplicates of attachments/weapons. Resolved an issue that caused players to gain trauma damage after a team wipe. Fixed an issue where players could free teammates from rescue pods without facing them. That was hilarious to watch bots do that, where they're literally facing backwards, so they're like clawing at the air. Players are now properly positioned when rescuing teammates in rescue pods from the side. Fixed an issue where players could use the first aid cabinet while not facing the correct direction. Fixed an issue where players could use the first aid cabinet while at full health. Fixed pings not going through the door frame of open prepper stash doors. Fixed an issue causing players not being able to reload or fire after being revived. That was annoying. Thankfully they fixed that now. Or cleaners will no longer say their boss fleeing lines when the hag is fleeing with a devoured teammate. Adjusted the collision of the minigun to be more narrow, preventing issues where the minigun could block doorways. I never tried that, but I'm kind of mad at myself for not. Fixed an issue that prevented players from picking up items that were dropped near certain NPCs. Fixed cleaners saying their mission blocked lines when they were no longer blocked. Fixed an issue causing horde timers to reset after a rescue pod spawns on the map. Fixed an issue on the failed resolution screen where the map would not reset properly when the host left after a team wipe. Blood and gore effects from melee hits now display properly in third person. Fixed an issue causing the interaction prompt on secret skull trophies to not appear after late joining a match. Alright, some weapon changes. Reserve ammo count no longer underflows if the viewer has negative 100% ammo capacity.
We made it this far.
Fixed an issue where the automatic reload animation would not play when using the Phoenix rifle. Fixed an issue that caused the reload animation to not play with sniper rifles when the last shot is fired using aim down sights. Fixed an issue where the no ammo sound could play repeatedly while shooting with full auto on for all weapons. Fixed an issue where the combat knife's second swing hitbox did not match its first. Now some Swarm PvP changes. The lever penalty now refreshes properly when disconnecting from PvP Swarm mode. Carly's danger sensibility now highlights police cars. Ridden players can no longer see out of bounds at specific locations on search and rescue, a clean sweep. Ridden can no longer become stuck inside the gymnasium on remnants, making the grade. Hawker can no longer interrupt her melee with the throw ability. Hawker can no longer interrupt her melee with the throw ability. Okay. Tallboys and variants can no longer spawn underneath the safe room and become stuck on the Devil's Return Resurgence. The Wretch's reticle will now properly align with where acid pulls are predicted to land. Supply lines. Checklist emblem was unintentionally unlocked by default. It's now locked by default if the player has not already met the criteria for it. Now for controllers, PS5 trigger effects now play on the proper trigger, and fixed an issue on PS5 controllers where adaptive triggers that were turned off would turn on again after loading into a map. Some accessibility changes. Fixed text-to-speech not playing for options drop-down text-to-speech is no longer always enabled in the sign-in menu after changing the console's language, and text-to-speech now properly reads the practice options for written in Fort Hope. UI changes. Console players can now change their output speaker configuration. Difficulty descriptions on the matchmaking screen now update properly when swapping between campaign and quick play. Personalization screens now highlight the item the player has equipped, emblem, sprays, and badges. Players can now skip cutscenes that began while the user had the chat box open. They fixed the placement of the Hold F to skip button on widescreen resolution. Fixed an issue where the player could become temporarily unable to enter the social menu after opening up and closing preferences section on the campaign screen. Friends on the Xbox friends list will no longer disappear from the list after entering a multiplayer session with another friend. The card selection outline no longer disappears when the player toggles over burn cards in the card selection menu. Fixed various gradient issues on the card selection and post-round non-standard resolutions. Damage numbers shown by the Knowledge is Power card no longer appear in cinematics. Shared card effects now display properly for burn card tooltip prompts. Active cards no longer overlap when pressing the O or B buttons while corruption cards are being drawn. Player-joined game messaging no longer appears erroneously while transitioning between maps. Weapons will now stop firing when players are in menus. Fixed an issue where the mission difficulty could overlap the tutorial video for campaigns in Fort Hope. Fixed an issue where the button for Swarm PvP could be inactive after accessing the campaign menu. Fixed an issue where the vibration option tooltip was showing incorrect text. On PlayStation platforms, they fixed an issue causing duplicate player profile save data files on PS4 and PS5. They fixed an issue where Ridden could stretch while approaching players on PS4. And they fixed bugs related to offline online mode selection and starting a PS5 activity. PCs, they fixed frame rate drop and hitching where the player is pinned by a hawker for the first time on Epic graphics setting. In Epic platform, players can proceed past the sign-in screen when launching the title without an internet connection. Well, that was a lot of information to go over. I hope everyone enjoys this information. I will be keeping updates on the game as much as I can. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope this information helped you. Subscribe, comment, whatever you'd like if you enjoyed the video. And I will catch you in the next one.